I'm in the northwest of India's Punjab, headed to the border with Pakistan at a place called Wagah. Ask anyone who's been there, including my driver, Upal, who is Indian, and they will tell you it is one of the most unusual border crossings on Earth.
The reason I'm going to the border and why I think you're going to find it fascinating is to witness the most unusual, maybe even a little bizarre ceremony conducted by the Indian and Pakistani security personnel each day before sunset to officially close the border for the night. We stopped at a gas station, or I should say a diesel station, for a fill-up in the entire city of Amritsar, which has about 2 million people. There are only 2 gas stations that have regular gasoline fuel. Everything else is diesel.
A quick bit of history. When the British pulled out of India in 1947, they partitioned the Indian subcontinent, setting in motion the creation of India as well as East and West Pakistan. East Pakistan later becoming Bangladesh, and West Pakistan, today's Pakistan.
These are all the bunkers, the DCB.
Partitioning of the Punjab region turned into a bloodbath. It was assumed rather naively that Muslims, Hindus, and Sikhs living on both sides of the line would stay in place.
That didn't happen. Muslims on the Indian side flooded into Pakistan, and Hindus and Sikhs poured into India from Pakistan. 14 million people caught up in the migration. By some estimates, 2 million died in the ensuing violence. We just passed through the small town of Atari, which is the last village on the Indian side of the border, which is just a very small place that's basically a row of businesses on each side of the highway. And as we've gotten closer to the border and the quote-unquote stadium where this ceremony that we're about to witness takes place every day, the pace of human traffic as well as vehicular traffic has picked up. To be honest with you, this is more like arriving at a stadium for a big football game.
When you will reach there, you will feel like you came here for the football match.
I mean, it's really amazing. We've made a turn, as you may have seen, off of the main highway into a parking lot, and it's as if we're stuck in stadium traffic. There are a lot of people here. Well, I passed through 2 security checks, and I'm in the line that allows me to go into the section for foreigners, which is certainly a blessing because it's like a VIP line. It's a way to avoid a very long line. I may have mentioned that this is a holiday, so there are more than the ordinary number of people here. The line is very long. And there was some question, my guide had suggested that it might be so full that I might get some pushback about going through the VIP line. And he coached me up on what to say in case I should meet with some resistance, but no, everything was fine. And I'm approaching the stadium. This is pretty crazy, and we're still 2 hours away. The enthusiasm level of the crowd really doesn't need much juicing. There's a kind of fervor here that's rather surprising to me. Technically, this is a lowering of the flag ceremony that the respective security forces have jointly carried out since 1959. That is India's Border Security Force, or BSP, and the Pakistan Rangers. But it's much more than that, of course. If you've seen video of it, you know that it's a blustery, high-stepping competition as much as a joint gesture of goodwill. You can see over my shoulder the Pakistani flag. There's an interesting story about that. The Indians put up a flag that was 360 feet tall some years ago. And to give you an idea of the one-upsmanship that's played here at this border, all of a sudden the Pakistanis erected a new flag, which you're looking at, which is 400 feet tall. Well, just so that you know, I was not expecting it to be this loud. So my apologies for screaming into the camera. Behind me, the configuration is that that's the Pakistan side of the border. And the great trunk highway, the road that goes through this border crossing, is of course immediately below the viewing stand. I'm on the India side of the viewing stand, sitting in what is euphemistically called the VIP section, usually set aside for foreigners, but not always. And I'm here near the center of this double stadium, but as you can tell, the Indian stadium is much larger than the stadium on the Pakistani side. In fact, the entire capacity of this place is 25,000. And I would venture to say at the moment, and we still have a while to go before we actually start the ceremony, but at the moment I would say that there are at least 23,000 Indians and relatively few by comparison Pakistanis on the other side. So the lyrics that you're hearing to the number this is Punjabi traditional dance group is doing is of course in the Punjabi language, in which of course I do not understand a word of, but it's sort of an attempt at bi-nationalism in a sense, because the Punjab of course extends across this border into Pakistan. The BSF marching band is warming up, and I was beginning to think this was going to be totally lopsided, but in the last couple of minutes the Pakistanis have started generating some pre-game noise. that, the border is closed.
बुजुर्गों एवं कीमती सामान का विशेष ध्यान दें। आज सभी देशवासियों को बीएसएफ की तरफ से जय हिंद जय भारत। कैमरामैन जो भी दर्शक एक बार जो भी दर्शक स्टेडियम के ऊपर वाले सभी दर्शकों से आप सभी देशवासियों को
You want to say something for this function?
Sure, what would you like me to say? It was fantastic.
How you feel about India?
Oh, I love India.
What is the best thing about India, you feel?
The food,
And
the people.
food and people. Bharti. It's not only about the culture, it is about the heritage, it's all about the way Indians meet, greet and treat people. Because Indians always spread their arms for others. Because Athithi Dev Bhava. For us, the guest is always a god. And that's something what actually the people love. And that's one of the reasons you'll find that every time here, it's not only the Indians coming out to this place, but people from different parts of the world come out to this place. And he had been part of the beating retreat ceremony, and he enjoyed it, and smile on his face narrates the whole story. Let me show you his smiling face that tells everything. And see, it is in fact tit for tat. He is shooting me and I am shooting him. Thank you so much. Thanks. It was nice talking to you.
Well, sometimes you just fall into things. Beautiful smiles. Beautiful smile. Well, not maybe so beautiful, but you got to maintain, right? Well, I must be doing okay with these guys because, I don't know, not just anywhere can you kid around with a soldier. My ears are splitting, and I'm not quite sure. Hello? I'm not quite sure whether I've come from an NBA playoff game or a border closing. Truly a one-of-a-kind kind of event here.
There's only one Punjab, but for 7 decades now, it exists in separate countries. And if there's a takeaway from what I've just seen, it's that each of those countries wants you to know it.
Well, my driver has dropped me back in Amritsar near my hotel. Some of you may be wondering why I've not chosen to visit Pakistan. After all, I was only 150 feet from the border technically this afternoon. I dearly love to visit Pakistan and intend to someday, but the timing just wasn't right for this particular trip, and I didn't want to make just a 1 or 2 day venture over the border to, say, visit Lahore, which is about 20 miles on the other side of the border. So I'll leave Pakistan for another day. Meantime, that does it for me here in India, which I've enjoyed enormously. Tomorrow I fly to Delhi, but only to change planes before I move to my next destination, which is Thailand. So thanks for liking the videos and for subscribing. Follow me on Instagram. And until I see you soon from Bangkok, ciao and peace.